Ryan, I just wanted to come at you from a bit of a different angle. With Connor Bedard was here last night with the Regina Pats, and he's projected to go first overall. You had a similar experience in your season in the WHL. Do you look back on that? I don't know how often you might reflect on it, but as a year with, dealing with a lot of hype and scrutiny and pressure, like how do you remember that final junior year?
Yeah, I mean, I guess a bit of a similar situation, but it's just about playing, and you're surrounded by your teammates who are also your good friends who you're going to school with too, also. So, I mean, you don't really realize kind of what you're going through. Everybody's kind of surrounding you, and you're just having fun out there and playing with your buddies. So it's he's a very humble kid. I've gotten to skate with him for years now, actually, and obviously a spectacular player. But also a humble kid, good head on his shoulders. So I don't think it'll affect the way he plays this year. I think you can expect a pretty good year from him. And yeah, I mean, I think as a 17-year-old and junior, it's about obviously getting better and trying to win, but also you're just having fun with your teammates for sure.
Mooner told me a story a couple of days ago that when you went into Vancouver, you had to do a bunch of interviews in the morning, and then a bunch more people wanted you in the afternoon. Now, it was unusual, but were you able to just kind of take it in stride as part of your day?
Yeah, I think it's just something that you roll with. It definitely was a little unusual at that age, at that time in my career, my life, but you just kind of roll with it and obviously not try to overthink it too much, and just try to go out there every night and play.
And so you've skated with Bedard. What do you think separates him now and is probably going to allow him to be an excellent NHL player as well?
Well, I think the first thing you see is his release, his shot. Obviously, it's NHL-like already, and I mean, I see it in the summer all the time, and it's elite. So I mean, that's one thing, but also he's a smart player. He's a good skater. He's kind of got all the tools, but I think more than anything, his shot probably separates him. But I think all his abilities help him get to those spots to be able to release that shot.
Ryan, just because Reed got you on the subject, I'm curious, you said you'd been skating with him for years. Do you remember your first time and what the impressions were? I imagine they're kind of similar to what... Yeah.
He was really young when he first came out to skate with us. He might have been like 10 or 11 or 12, and he just kind of came out and didn't do the whole practice with us, but he kind of was out there to start. And even then, we were watching him shoot, and we were like, this is not normal for a 11-year-old. But and then obviously, as you kind of watched him get older, grow up, and his shot and his abilities just kept getting better and better. So it's kind of been fun to watch him progress as a player, and also as a person. I mean, he's, like I said before, he's a humble kid, and he good head on his shoulders. So definitely looking forward to watching him this year.
I know you've got a good wrister on the power play, but were you already envious of his shot? You're talking about at 11, 12. Could he shoot it like that even back then?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe when he got to like 13, 14, 15, he started to be able to release it like that. I mean, as a 10, 11-year-old, you just don't have the physical strength to be able to do it. But like I said, compared to other kids his age at that point, he was already pretty far advanced.
And I know that orange is the team color of the Oilers too, but is orange on this day mean anything, specifically to you, or anything that you like to kind of convey with wearing the orange shirt today?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think it's a day to honor them and pay our respects. So I think for us to just be able to put these shirts on and think about that, take a minute to think about that is important today.
Ryan, what's the goal? You address a pretty veteran lineup tonight. What do you try and pull out of these exhibition games? I think everybody knows it's not going to be, 1,000 miles an hour all night long, but what do you try and pull out of it as a group, do you think?
Obviously, for the guys who haven't played yet, we want to get those games in and start to feel like a hockey player again. I mean, you can practice so much, but you don't really feel comfortable and confident out there until you start playing games. So, I mean, it's about getting our legs under us, get that timing back, and start kind of gluing together again. Obviously, most of the guys are still around from last year, and I mean, we went pretty far. We were clicking together, and we want to get that back as quick as possible. So for a few of us, it's the first chance to do that. For other guys, they've been doing that for the past few games. So it's just about kind of getting your feet going and getting that timing back right now.
What would you say about the evolution of McDavid as a goal scorer? So 44 last season. He's got a pretty good goal-scoring winger in Evander Kane potentially this year. But from a goal-scoring standpoint, you know, if McDavid decides he wanted to just go ham this year and get as many as he could, what do you think's possible? And how do you think he approaches it in terms of, you know, the focus on that versus just making the right play in the moment?
Yeah, I think Connor's always about making the right play in the moment. So I'm sure, I mean, obviously the numbers he's put up in the past are incredible, goals-wise, wise, but I think he's always going to be a guy that uses his teammates, uses his line mates. He's making them better. He's definitely playing with them, and he's making the right decision at the right time. So whether that's taking it end-to-end sometimes, like he has to do, he can obviously pull that out, and other times it's just using his line mates. And I think with Connor, it's not about those kind of ideas of just, okay, I just want to score. I want to score as much as I possibly can. I think it's about making the team better and making the right play at the right time.
Taking into account how fit players are coming into camp, some teams only play 6 games. Your team is, you know, virtually picked before camp even starts. What are your thoughts on an 8-game preseason schedule?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a little much. I mean, I think 8 games, 9 games. We've played 9 games in the past. It's a lot of games, but obviously you don't play every game. I think for the more veteran guys to play a handful of games is enough to kind of get your feet going and just get that timing and feeling good again. So I mean, I'm not sure how they figure out how many games you're going to play in exhibition, but obviously it gives the young guys a chance to get some NHL experience and kind of go from there. But for the more veteran guys, I feel like everybody's kind of comfortable with 3 to 5 games and ready to go from there.
That's my next question. As a veteran guy, how many do you want? How many do you need?
Somewhere in that range, 3 to 5. It's depending on how you feel, obviously, but you don't want to come into the season unsure of how your game is and unsure of how you're feeling. So obviously you want a few games to get into the rhythm and to start feeling good, but you also don't want to come in fatigued or feeling tired. You want to be ready to go.
Ryan, the power play here has been really good for a long time. So they say if it's not broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, you can't let things stagnate. So how do you guys walk that line between not messing with something that's been so effective, but at the same time, you have to make some tweaks and adjustments here and there?
Yeah, well, I think our power play moves around a lot. We can switch positions and stuff, so it does give us different looks. Like you said, you don't want to be stagnant. I mean, you want to give different looks because otherwise teams can watch video and key on certain aspects of your power play and take advantage of that. So, I mean, we like to change things up, and I think we're our best when we're just playing. It's obviously you want to be in that structure, but when we shoot the puck and get it back, those little plays open up, and I think that's kind of where we play our best. So it's kind of about showing different looks at different times, but I think one of the things that's given us success in the past is our ability to kind of move positions and have different guys in different areas.
So camp's been going on for a long time. If you go back to the captain skates, and then you guys were together during rookies, and you know you've been together for. So what do you accomplish during that stage where you're kind of almost, you know, I wouldn't say on your own, but a lot of the time it's just the guys practicing together?
I mean, obviously getting into more of game shape. It's tough to replicate until you actually play a full NHL game, but we do the best we can before camp, even of getting that intensity level ramped up, and also just getting back to the guys and start getting the chemistry going again and hanging out outside of the rink and stuff like that. I think all those things are important. So we had a good lead up to camp, and camp's been going well, but now it's time to buckle down and start really building our game here.
Sorry, Ryan, just one last one for me. I don't think you've had very much experience playing with Ryan McLeod yet, and I'm just curious how you feel has been going in practices, and 2 centers kind of playing together. How do you guys feel like you can maybe build off each other there, work off each other?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a talented player, smart player. So I think as a centerman, I mean, I've had experience before playing with centermen on the same line, obviously. So and so is he. But obviously a great skater. You see him kind of moving and getting his feet going. You want to give him the puck and let him go a little bit. But obviously, he reads the play well. He's a smart player, and Fogue's on the other side too. Explosive player, great shot. So, I mean, I think for us tonight, we will probably want to just keep things simple and try to work things low and start to build that chemistry.